So one of the key parts of history at all levels, Winston, has been able to take information from sources and extract the key and relevant information from that source. So this kind of lesson today is quite a short one, but it's going to show you how you need to be focusing on the kind of key sources of information or the key pieces of information from a source based on what you have been asked to find out. Alright, so if we click on the next slide, there we go. So I'm going to move myself down to the bottom so we can see everything. So we've got this bit here. It says, in source A, Charles Young talks of his family's experience of the First World War. Alright, then source A, after the First World War, relatives told me of the suffering caused by food shortages. German U-boats made sure of that due to the lack of other food. My family lived on bones from the butcher made into soup. Some people, especially children, died of starvation. So from source A, we can see that kind of having a lack of food was a huge problem. So the first question to ask us is source A, oh, that's terrible grammar. So is source A primary or secondary source? And what we need to be looking at is, did the source happen at the time? If it happened at the time from somebody who was there, it then becomes a primary source. So Charles Young talks of his family's experience. It's not, he wasn't there, he was talking about his family's experience, and then the key word we're looking for in source A is relatives told me. So Charles Young wasn't there at the time, he was told this story by relatives who were, so it becomes a secondary source. So the answer to the first question, which is very badly typed up, so I apologise for that, is it's a secondary source. Now what we need to do is then look at, and that's going to come up just to tell us it's his family's experience, not his experience, which is important for kind of deciding if it's a primary or secondary source. So the second question is, what evidence is there to show that food shortages were an important problem during World War I? Give two pieces of evidence. So we need to find two pieces of information in source A that tells us that the shortage of food was a problem. Now, if we read source A again, after the First World War, relatives told me of the suffering caused by food shortages. So we know it was a problem, we just don't know how it was a problem. What was the evidence to prove that? German U-boats made sure of that. Due to the lack of other food, my family lived on bones from the butchers made into soup. So there is one of the problems there. That due to the lack of food, they had to have bone soup. Some people, especially children, died of starvation. There's a second problem, that people were dying of starvation. So we've now highlighted the 2 points, or the 2 pieces of evidence that prove that food shortages were an important problem. And then you would just write that into your answer.